Will, what's been different for you these last 2 weeks?
There's just certain times where you're seeing the ball good. My swing's been feeling good. I've been able to put some good swings on it to all sides of the field, really.
Will, I
Jonathan,
noticed that you were kind of banged
Go
up
ahead,
at one point. Can you tell us what happened there?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I noticed at one point you were kind of banged up in the field. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, I dove for that ball and my shoulder had a little something, but I should be.
Will, you've seen Jonathan Fincher twice this year, and he's been really good both times, but 11 hits off of him tonight. What was different?
Yeah, this is actually the third time we've seen him. We saw him at our place, we saw him there, and then we saw him here. So we really knew exactly what to expect. And I think he kind of had to adjust to us this time, and we were able to take advantage of him maybe getting away from his game.
Well, just how important is it to stay in the winner's bracket? Coach Barry talks about that. And now you guys, get a day off and just, I guess, how important is it for y'all to, kind of stay in that winner's bracket?
Yeah, it's very important. There's no reason to try to get cute with it. You just have to go after it and win each game one at a time. It gives you the best chance if you get the day off on Friday and then come back Saturday when the other teams have played a couple times.
Will, can you talk about playing as late as y'all did the past, or as early, however you want to say it, did the past 2 nights, man? What's that day off going to be like? And can you talk a little bit about that? Not having to play baseball like that tomorrow.
I've kind of always dreamed of playing in the late game at the Conference USA tournament, so it was pretty fun the last couple nights. I think we thrived off of it.
Will, can you talk about Ryan and just it seemed like he really gave you guys a boost in the arm when he gets you guys out of that jam.
Yeah, absolutely. Walker put us in a great spot to win the game, and then Och came in and was lights out, got out of that bases loaded, and then through 4+ innings or whatever it was, and really just kind of propelled us to keep the momentum on our side so we could finish it off.
Well, I don't think anyone fully understands it, but it's hard to ignore the giant yellow tube coming out of the dugout. Can you explain rally tube for us?
Yeah, so the rally tube is like this yellow pipe that is attached to the net at our park, and the pitchers got it stuck one time like 50 feet in the air, and every day they were just shaking on this wire. It was pretty annoying, and then eventually they finally got it to come down, and then Coach Barry said who got the tube down, and whoever got it down said he just kept shaking until it finally came down. And so we kind of have keep shaking as a mantra, and the rally tube is a symbol for that.
When did the rally tube start? Like, how long has this been? A couple of weeks, or when did it start?
That tube goes back to maybe the fall. We've been playing with that thing for a while, and then we took it off of the net and brought it with us here.
Anything else?
I got one more if you can stay. Just obviously you guys hitting through the lineup, and specifically you and Danny in that 6 and 7 spot. Just how huge is that the last couple nights for y'all to be doing what you've been doing at the plate, Yeah,
I think we've got a good rhythm going right now, 1 through 9. It's really a team game, obviously, and you want the offense as a whole to work together and be in rhythm. So 1 through 9, we're kind of just passing the line, passing it to the next guy, and different guys stepping up every night and getting the offense going.
Ryan, can you take us through, when you get the call there, bases loaded, obviously tough situation, and just what your mindset is going to the mound and trying to get out of that?
Really just attacking the hitters and trusting the defense behind me. They've been behind me all year, and just kind of saying, here's my stuff. If you beat me, you beat me. But if not, I'm going to beat you. Kind of just that attack mentality.
Was that your approach when you come into that jam right there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
can you take us through that first at bat, because that was maybe your biggest one there, and it went like 10 pitches, and just take us through that final pitch to strike him out, what you threw there, and just how that propelled you the rest of the game, that one at bat.
I think that was probably a big turning point right there. Just a long at bat. Garcia's a great fastball hitter too, and I consider myself a fastball pitcher, so it's kind of strength against strength. And it got to the full count, and I got a slider called, and just trusting in that pitch and trusting the pitch call and everything, being able to execute that kind of gave us the boost we were looking for.
Ryan, if I'm not mistaken, that was your longest outing of the year. How did you feel going into the ninth inning?
I felt pretty good. I think my body started to kind of get a little gassed. I didn't think it, but it started to kind of show. They were starting to hit me a bit, and just being able to trust the bullpen behind me and Hurston coming in and finishing it off.
Hurston came in and was throwing really well. Is that something y'all have seen out of him here recently? I think he was, 97, 98 miles per hour.
Mm-hmm. He's come on really strong these past couple, I think a month or two, and he's been a huge addition to our bullpen. Just another guy we can count on of the many we have.
Ryan, how do you guys feel after playing, one at 1 a.m. for 2 nights in a row or 2 mornings in a row like that?
I love it. I mean, it's something that only happens in college baseball, and it's something really cool to be a part. And it really doesn't feel like it's 3 a.m. or 1 a.m. It kind of just felt like it was a 6 o'clock game, and it was dark, and now it's like 10 o'clock, but it's almost 2 a.m. now, and we're all still riled up. But it's a really fun game, and you have to bring your own energy, and it was just a great atmosphere.
Ryan, can you talk a little bit about the atmosphere tonight at the park? I mean, it was packed. It was seemed to be pretty lively. But you guys play in front of that, but can you talk a little bit about that?
It was awesome. I think with it kind of being a rivalry game in a big stage on a conference tournament, just a lot of fans on both sides too, and that's just the atmosphere you dream to play in, and just being able to execute in those moments and getting through all that. It's really fun. It's hard to put into words.
Ryan, as a team, does it feel like y'all still have a lot of bullets left in the gun, whether it's the pitching staff, or does it feel like y'all are in a good position as a staff?
Absolutely. We have a really deep staff, and there's so many moving pieces that at any time can go in and just execute. So I feel very comfortable with us moving forward with all the pieces we have. So
Pitching the 4 innings today, could you think you could go on a Sunday? What's the rest like for you right now before you could pitch?
I think the first thing, I'm going to see how I feel tomorrow. Probably going to be pretty sore, but for sure going to shoot. I'll be good by Sunday. See how I feel Saturday, but for sure by Sunday I'll be ready.
Will was telling us about the rally tube. Can you kind of break that down, and just the origin of the rally tube?
You kind of hit the nail on the head. I heard him talking about it, but it's kind of in our bullpen. We have a couple of those like long metal cords or something attached to that net that goes around the stands. And there's those little PVC pipes kind of at the bottom to protect you from, like, I don't know, getting cut or something. But one time someone just threw it up, and we started seeing who could throw it the furthest, and then it got stuck. And then we started shaking and got it down and just kept going back and forth. And I don't know, it just became a part of us. I think it's really fun, but it's worked.
Coach, how do you feel after wrapping we're sitting here at 2 a.m. It was 3 a.m. yesterday. How do you feel right now?
Honestly, I feel like it's like 10 o'clock at night. I really do. I don't know why that is. I felt like we just got through with a 6 o'clock start and we finished at 10. So I think last night's going so deep into the morning hours just kind of threw everything off. And what a great game. That was a great college baseball game that we all saw tonight.
Can you talk about Ryan Och right there, just coming in, getting you guys out of that jam? And I mean, it seemed like he gave you guys life when momentum was, potentially shifting.
Yeah, I mean, he came in and inherited, bases loaded situation. He gets 2 punch outs. Garcia keeps fouling off fastballs. Count runs to 3-2. hadn't really shown a slider at all. And I'll tell you what, big time pitch right there to catch him looking for that one. Then of course he puts the next guy away. But big momentum swing right there, probably the turning point of the game. In all honesty, I mean they'd already scored a run and cut the lead to 2-1, and was on the verge of really busting that thing open.
Coach, you know, to what Ryan did, bases loaded, coming in like that, you kind of have to have a different makeup. What is it about him, his character, that allows him to not be shaken and ready for those type of moments? You know,
Well, I think he's a confident young man, and he prepares himself with Coach Oz down in the bullpen for those moments. I think that's part of the mental side of coaching and teaching is preparing people to inherit those things. And you never know how it's going to happen because it's hard to stage that on a practice day. But all you can do is really just kind of dig down in that mental side, just try to create what you're going to feel, what you're going to inherit, how you have to just slow the game down and the body. So, for him to do that, it shows you obviously and that he's very confident, just like it was Hurston coming in with inheriting 2 runners on. I mean, and that being a freshman, with not a lot of innings logged in, but he's learning quick on the job.
Coach, why did you go to, obviously Hurston delivered, but what gave y'all confidence to put him in that situation?
Well, we were kind of toying with even starting him there in the 9th, in all honesty. But I really, we were down there 7, 8, 9 in their order, and I kind of wanted to stay with him, and Oz did too, and the ammo and the whole pitching staff. We knew he was kind of running on fumes, but I also know that there's situations offensively when a guy kind of has your number and you can't figure him out. There's all of a sudden there's this edge that you get when they go to the bullpen, and we were just trying to get one more out of him in all honesty, and but he'd worked longer than he had all year. I told Oz, I said, a star is born every day, and let's go with him, and we did, and we had Hurston ready to go as well.
Coach, can you talk about the production of the bottom of the order, especially with Will and his bat coming on the last couple weeks?
Yeah, I tell you, he's really been putting together some huge at bats for us and driving in some big runs. We saw that tonight. I think he had 3 hits tonight. He and Danny both. And the thing about it is they're hits that are using the whole field. We're not just using one side of the field, particularly there after Danny doubled. There, I think it was our 4th run. Danny doubled to start the inning, and chose not to bunt Will because he has been swinging it so well. And he backsides one down there in the corner, gets thrown out at second base, but Danny's able to score to go up to put that 4th run. So, but that's the impressive thing about Will is his at bats and how he's using the whole field and in those at bats.
What's different for Will? I mean, he's kind of had a rocky year for the most part, with the exception of these past couple weeks.
Well, I think if you look at the whole year, in all honesty, if we look back at the first of the season, we were really struggling at the plate. I mean, we were just above 200, and but I think when you look at offenses around the country, a lot of people were struggling. I think the pitching was way ahead of the hitters. I think 2/3 of your season not being played last year didn't allow people to develop with at bats. Basically baseball was shut down. There were a few of them that were able to get into summer leagues for whatever they were worth. But for the most part, everybody was really just shut down until we came back in the fall. And I knew that in the fall we struggled, and I worried going into spring because we didn't swing it very good offensively. But now, I think looking back, I think I know why all that happened. I think it was just COVID and missing time on the baseball field really put the hitters behind and put the pitchers out front. And what you're seeing now, you're seeing batting averages all across the country. They're starting to rise. And is it because hitters are getting more at bats, or is it because pitchers are getting worked down? I don't know. Maybe it's a combination of both of it, but you're starting to see, particularly our offense, starting to kick in and really starting to put together some really good at bats.
Coach, we were asking them about the rally tube. I know at the end there they handed it to you.
Not one of
were
them,
you-
not one of them can tell you exactly what it is. So
Do you know what it is?
I do know what it is. Yeah, it's a cover for a guide wire that holds up that pole that holds the backstop net. There's actually two guide wires that are there, and it's there to protect somebody to not run into that cable wire. So I don't know. One day they got the thing stuck up there and they constantly were shaking it and shaking it and shaking it. Tanner Hall's the one that finally got it down. And I don't know how long it had been sitting up there. And I noticed it had gotten down. And you know, I said, who was the one that got it down? They said, Tanner Hall. He shakes it all the time. And I said, see, that's a life lesson right there. You just stay persistent. You just keep shaking and finally something will break loose for you. And so now every now and then that thing's sitting up there again, and it's become a game to stick it up there and try to get it back down. But it made it on the trip. I've never seen it on the trip before, but it made it to Ruston this weekend.
Coach, you guys are in the semifinal round again after, or I guess, you know, for so many years in a row. I mean, what's it say about this club? Obviously, you know, that's big for, you know, the tournament just to get tomorrow night or tonight off.
Right. Well, I think it says that this group of young men understand what tradition is at Southern Miss. This is something that we don't take lightly. We just don't like to be a participant in a tournament. Over the past few years, we've had some really good players that have enabled us to play for that championship. And, you know, I remember back, there was one year where we lost to UTSA. We finished with them in San Antonio the regular season. We swept them over there, and then we played them in the first game of the tournament. They popped us. That was probably, I don't know, maybe 2018 down there on the coast. But, you know, we end up winning the tournament. So, you know, we talk a lot about the tradition at Southern Miss, the expectations. You know, we want people that are in our program that understand those and want to meet those expectations. We don't want people that run from it. What's so neat about this group is obviously we've talked about the youth and how young we are, but we have tremendous leadership out of Hunter Stanley and Walker Powell and Will McGillis and Danny Lynch, you know, and Gabe Montenegro. Those are some guys that have been in the program and understand what it takes and where we're trying to get. And to watch everybody come together and work together has been really, really neat as a coach to watch that happen.